A good ball game, two good teams, a variety of good arms. You got to see a lot of different talent on the mound, both sides tonight. I thought they ran some really good arms out there. Clearly, we did too. The bullpen operation and those guys that came in, Oxford and Short especially, that was well timed and well needed and good execution on their parts when they got into the ball game. And we have to have that. We were not really fully stocked down there, so we needed those guys to deliver and answer. And they did. Lighter start was solid again. They're all unique. Like, he seems to find things as he goes. I thought the sixth inning, I believe he had an 0-2 count on the leadoff hitter. I think it was a two-hole guy, and we couldn't quite finish that one off, and that led to a little bit more. But Lighter was fine. We just have to keep working and keep getting a little more crisp and sharp with everything. He is so intense with what he's doing. You can see that. And he's trying so hard to master this. I thought his curveball was good at times. Thought he threw some really good changeups. He had some life on the fastball. The slider came and went for him. When it's on point, it's a wipeout type pitch. It wasn't as consistent maybe as you would like, but in control of the game. Hanks hits the home run, and our guys responded with some really, really good at-bats. You know, the middle of that lineup, some of the hits and some of the swings that were not hits, it was impressive today. And you can kind of go up and down the lineup, and I know Diamez and Lodis didn't have great days, but man, there were some really nice swings, and I was pleased with the management of control of the game. It's hard to always answer. Like, if somebody scores, you're not always going to score yourselves, but they did a nice job today, our players, of answering to what happened by delivering some good at-bats and some big swings.
Kind of along that lines, it's the second week in a row where you've had a game where you go down 1-0, 2-0 in the first inning, and then you come back in your half of the inning with a multi-run inning. It just seems like they're playing with the utmost confidence right now.
Yeah, they're pitch by pitch engaged, and that doesn't mean you're always going to score, and it doesn't mean you're going to always have great at-bats against the kind of arms. They ran a lot of good arms. Like, you see the velocities and what they're running up there, so it's not easy. But the engagement and the focus at some of those moments when you really need it has been impressive. It really has.
I'm sure you're not thrilled to see Hanks come up in that situation. The bases loaded, but it was a great opportunity for Brennan to shut that down. It
was. We go into this with certain matchup concepts that we feel like, hey, if this thing gets to this point, like, what are your options here? And that was one, and it lined up, and I thought Oxford threw some really nice sliders, and that's what we needed him to do. And his fastball, he got another punch out on some fastballs where you can see when that adrenaline gets going, that velocity ticks up a little bit, and that fastball starts to carry a little bit more, I think. And he had a good little outing for us. We hit some guys. There were some uncharacteristic hit by pitches in there, but all in all, we pitched it well enough. And give Notre Dame credit, their swings were damaging. Like, it seemed like they capitalized. You know, they had some timely hits that drove in some runs, and they had some damaging extra base hit swings. So I'm really proud of the way the bullpen guys came in. To come out of there, we talk about this all the time with the team. When you come out of there, you have to be on point. You get those 8 warm-up pitches on the field. That's the fine-tuning, and that's it. And you have to be on the screws with your stuff. And I thought for the most part, like, we did that out of the bullpen.
I don't think Cam's velo ever dropped below 95 tonight. Just the way that he builds and sustains through starts, just how impressive is that?
Yeah, it's great. And he's a physical kid. He's a big kid, and he works hard in this weight room, and he's very diligent with his arm care. And Phil and Jamie take care of these guys and help them recover and help them strengthen. And Micah clearly knows exactly what he's doing to keep Lighter on track and on pace with when he throws and how much he throws and what he does in this weight room. So it's great. And you have a physical athlete like that, you hope that the velocity in this stuff does sustain, which is why you like starting pitchers that can lengthen things out for you and hold their stuff.
It seemed like you guys couldn't really blow it open, but that home run by Cam, the other Cam, late was big because it gives you full.
Yeah, like they ran, you're talking about 5 good arms. Like, those are solid arms, and it's hard to bust it open. You know, you score 7 or 8 and you feel like you're on the cusp, but sometimes 5 or 6 or 7 or 3 is not easy. So there were at bats. If we had them back, the guys clearly would want to have a redo on some of those, but I do tip my hat to their guys. They executed pitches. They called a good game, and we couldn't quite really blow it open, but the response kept the energy on our side, and I was pleased with that.
Let me ask one more thing about Brennan. He had pitched a lot before he came here, but it seems like he's better than he was a year ago. Has he improved much from a year ago?
I thought he got better all year. I did. I thought he got better all year, and by the end of it, honestly, I thought it was very similar to what we saw tonight. I do. The velocity, the breaking pitches. I haven't looked at the metrics of what it is, but I think this is the good version that we saw kind of down the stretch last year. And we've talked about this with some of the positional players, but when you do transfer and you're coming into somewhere that's new, it sometimes takes a little while to find your way and just settle into what's going on around you, and a new coaching staff and new surroundings and maybe a new role, maybe an expanded role. So that was good stuff today. Fastball and slider was good. Yeah.
Cam's ability to drive the ball to the backside, just how much of that comes from the work he does every day in BP? It seems like when he hits BP, everything's middle or away from the field.
Yeah, he just really stays inside and on it, and you find, we talk about with you guys as much as anything, like learning yourself. You're watching some of these young players learn what works for them, and you really don't know what works for you until you actually see in-game success with it. And then you start to settle in. So he stayed with his work habits and his approach to what he's doing, and he will still pull balls in games. And if you go watch major leaguers take batting practice, you'll see some guys that do very unique things throughout the course of their BP to get the feel they want when they enter a game and somebody's throwing it from 60 feet 6 inches and you're getting off-speed pitches and the whole ball of wax coming at you. So you're just watching some of these guys find themselves, like find what works for them and how it feels entering the game.
You guys are the last remaining undefeated team in the country now. I know you're not worried about results in record and other teams, but just how much does that say about the consistency of this team so far on a day-to-day basis?
That's awesome. I told my wife, I haven't talked a lot about it. I said, that's something that's hard to do. I don't think that's ever happened to me as a coach. I'm proud of that. I didn't realize that happened. That means a lot. It's very, very hard to pull something like that off. And the consistency, we talked before the game, like just give it your best one pitch at a time, and the resulting stuff that happens if that pitch is put in play or if you have to do a base running maneuver, just finish it, like finish the play. And that's really cool that happened. That's neat.
We haven't seen Ben in a couple weeks. Do you have just availability on him?
He's day-to-day right now. He's okay. He was tender after his outing in Greenville, I think it was, and that was a good outing for him, and we're just being very cautious. He's okay.